Hey, welcome everybody. This is the Spiderduck Network. We're here to talk about the Microsoft press conference that just ended. I am Trevor. I am joined by Jimmy Kowalski.
Hello.
Jovan Street Lawrence.
Hi.
Michael Hewitt.
Hello.
And Travis Belkey.
Hello.
We are here to talk about Microsoft and what they did today, and I think most of us are actually pretty satisfied with what we saw.
Yeah, even the biggest critic in the room on Microsoft was pretty pleased. So,
I don't really know what you could be unhappy about, too. It's just, hey, look, we want. Jovan, you got the conference on in the background. It's way too loud.
Sorry.
Yeah, everybody's like, we want games for Microsoft, so what they gave us an hour and a half of games.
They gave us games, absolutely.
Most of which are exclusives to the console too, so they're not just giving us the third-party titles that are going to be on both. So
yeah,
I think they did exactly what they needed to do.
Yep.
They did do exactly what they needed to do, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, there were some hiccups.
I can't say that I was completely blown away, but I liked a lot of what I seen.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible to be completely blown away.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Some of the exclusives, though, some of the exclusives were very surprising. Like, even like the developers there, I did not expect CD Projekt Red to show anything Witcher related at a conference, let alone Microsoft's.
Well, I think Microsoft threw some money around saying, "Hey, show your game at our conference." Yeah. No one else's. And...
Yeah.
Travis, you got a lot of background noise coming through too.
Oh.
Sorry.
But yeah.
Well, let me just go through some of the games that we.
Okay. What do you guys think about Rise?
Yeah. It looked good. I mean, it's a Crytek game. It's gonna look good.
Yeah, graphically it looked all right. You know.
You could kind of tell it was meant to be a Kinect game. It was very, very limited on what it was showing.
Yeah, the QTEs ruined a lot of the experience, in my honest opinion.
Games just need to get away from QuickTime events. It's just not fun to do.
It's kind of funny, like a God of War dev, he went on Twitter and he said, you know, as someone who's worked on God of War for all these years, I apologize personally for what QTEs have done to this industry.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it looked good, but I'm with Mike in the same boat. I think it was meant to be a Kinect game. I think they realized it would probably not have sold as well if it was just a Kinect game, so they made it a controller game.
It may not have sold as well, but it actually looked like it would have been a fun game to play on Kinect at that point.
That may be true, but I still don't think it would have sold as well.
It would have been just as annoying as Skyward Sword was, you know, because it's like, oh, left, right.
That being said, I still am glad that they waited for the Xbox One. I am glad that they took some time out and they actually developed this for, you know, a controller experience.
They did announce it was going to be a launch title too, so pretty much what we saw is probably a completed product.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot you can do in a. It's until November. It's not a whole lot. It's not real far away, so you could do a little bit of polishing, but that's pretty much what we're going to get.
I gotta wonder how fun the game's going to be to play over the course of 6-7 hours.
I don't know.
I think that if everything's varied enough, it'll keep your interest.
I can't imagine variance in it because I didn't see any kind of variance.
Yeah, the thing is like if they would have done like a cool like RTS thing, or if they had any other major gameplay elements, I would have to think they would have showed those off to say, hey, this is not all the game is.
Yeah, but it looks like that's all the game is.
Yeah, it does.
At least currently.
It doesn't look like that killer app. I think that a lot of people maybe thought Rise would have been, especially if it was a Kinect game, like the killer app for the Kinect. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it looked like a launch title, a traditional launch title where it's not bad, but it's not good, and you'll forget about it.
Welcome to Spartan Total Warrior 2, everybody.
Yeah. I love Spartan Total Warrior. Are we talking trash on that game now? Because that was amazing.
I didn't hate it. I think one of the games that it wasn't. This was like 30 seconds of it, but like Swery 65's game, the guy that made Deadly Premonition D4 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can be excited for that, just because, you know.
Yeah, it's episodic. episodic murder mystery.
Uh-huh.
That sounds pretty cool.
Well, it you know.
It looked like the Walking Dead game.
If it's like anything like his other game, it's going to have really shitty gameplay, shitty controls, everything, but have a really damn good story. So.
I can't say I was excited for it, but it was intrigued for sure.
It's something. I think it was like a nice little. Even if it was short, it was like, okay, that's cool. It's something different that they're showing. They're not showing the shooting stuff. It's okay. I can get behind that, but that's so little of the game. Like, what is like? It's an episodic game. We know that, but what is it? You know.
So it's probably gonna be an arcade title. We'd probably assume. So that could be a big thing too. We might only be paying $15 for a season pass or $5 a game.
And is it the start of, we've seen a lot of free-to-play games be announced for the PS4 in the weeks leading up to this. We see World of Tanks debut. It's going to be on the 360, but it's free-to-play.
World of Tanks is a huge
Are we finally moving?
Should be perfect for the 360.
Are these consoles finally moving into free-to-play market?
No. Wait until they see whether these work, because they pretty much only announced already established free-to-play games, and it's pretty much an experiment to see if it works.
Yeah, there's also Tekken Revolution. There's also DOA 5's going free-to-play this fall. So I mean,
So if these don't work, we will not see more free-to-play games.
But if they do, what would we see? Would we see Halo free-to-play?
Maybe not Halo, maybe not big disc games. Downloadable Xbox Live arcade games, absolutely. Maybe not disc games, though.
Yeah.
Because obviously, they're on a disc.
Yeah, those sell.
What about episodic?
Episodic, I can't ever see those be free to play because
no. I'm just talking. No, I'm just talking about like, are more games going to become episodic?
I think The Walking Dead proved that episodic games can work really well.
I mean, I've been saying since The Walking Dead, I think Mass Effect should move to episodic.
The problem is, if you don't make a good game, you're going to end at the first episode.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. So you have to have a quality title for an episodic time after work.
Yeah, I don't see big AAAs going episodic. It could work. I mean, like
we have that in trilogies. That's kind of episodic.
Yeah, The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead isn't the only example.
I think it could. I think it could work with Mass Effect because the world is so big.
Yeah, we have Halo Spartan Ops. That's very good. That's doing very well. People really like Spartan Ops. So I mean, I think these companies should just test the waters for right now. I don't really think we can say
experimentation is good.
Yeah,
it means we're getting away from the standard.
Well, and I mean, we've seen Sony in their first-party games experiment with that a little bit, where they separate the single-player and multiplayer and offer one free on the network. They did that with Uncharted. They did that with Starhawk and stuff like that. I'd be anxious to see like if they did something with like Call of Duty, where hey, everyone plays multiplayer, so let's just charge for that, or let's have some kind of pricing model where we split the two up. Something similar.
People have been saying that for years, though, and for some reason they just won't do it.
They won't, no. Because I mean, they could charge $60 for just that multiplayer, and people would buy it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They'd be dumb, but yeah, they would.
Yeah, well.
It's very interesting too. I'm not talking about a game or anything, but it's very interesting what Microsoft is doing. I don't know if you guys heard, for the Xbox Live, 2 free games per month.
Yeah.
Gold subscription.
They're trying to go the PlayStation Plus route.
It's a brilliant quality of life thing because they're doing that and they're changing to actual one-to-one currency rates rather than the ridiculous Microsoft point system.
Which is stupid. The points are dumb.
Yeah.
Well, that's whenever Xbox Live came out, that was just kind of the way these kind of things did it, and they never bothered to change it.
Yeah,
but
and not a lot of people questioned it either. It was just there.
And they're going very consumer friendly, and they want people to be able to justify the subscription.
Well,
fee. I'm perfectly fine with it, but I know people like Jimmy aren't.
I hate paying for Xbox Live. I think you don't get what you pay for.
Yeah, well,
their online service has always been better than PlayStation 3. I'm going to say that now.
I disagree.
Their online service has always been better.
See, here's the thing.
I think PSN's better now, but that's my opinion.
The thing is, too, is that, I'm just going to use an example. Water is the most abundant resource on this planet, and we still have to pay for that.
Yeah.
So, just because Sony has free internet service doesn't mean that it's
But it's not
free
just,
across
it's
the
not,
board.
it's not like everything. It's not like... I can get on my, okay, laugh about it, whatever. I can get on my Wii U, my PlayStation, my computer, my tablet, my iPhone, and I can play games for free with other people for free. And it's like, to me, Microsoft never justified, I don't care how little it technically amounts to, they never justified the purchase. of it, because as someone like me who just plays games, I don't bother with Netflix. I don't bother with Hulu. Like,
well, the justification was they had better servers than everybody else.
Well, see, I don't even agree with that because I always had issues with Xbox. I still do. My Xbox downloads take fucking forever, and your
downloads are based on your internet, not based on their servers.
And the thing is, like, my games.
Like, have you ever played an online game on the Wii? It's terrible.
I'm sure.
PlayStation had they've gotten better, but they had very, very poor online services, and they basically didn't charge because they never charged.
The PlayStation Network with the PS3 was still like an unproven. Like, they didn't have a network with the PS3.
Right, but Microsoft has to support their own servers through everything, and they had better quality servers than everybody.
I don't know. To me, that's still
computer does a lot of peer-to-peer stuff and not a lot of server-based stuff.
To me, it's still not enough to justify Xbox Live. I don't know. I don't see justification for it until now. If they're going to offer free games.
Well, yeah. It's understandable. It's just that, just because it's free somewhere else, doesn't mean that it should be free everywhere.
Well, it's free everywhere else, Trevon. So.
Well, you have to pay for internet.
Exactly, so why do I have to pay to play games online?
It's not just playing games. I mean, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah. That's all I do.
Well, that's all you do. That's fine. I mean, but you're not, it's not the only option available, and that's the problem.
See, the thing is like
from what you use, that doesn't mean anything.
For me to get on Xbox to play Halo multiplayer, it should be free. I shouldn't have to pay. If I want to get on and utilize all those apps... Why should it be
free when they have costs to update their servers, and they have to use their servers? Why should it be free to you when it costs them money?
Why is it free to everyone else?
It's not completely free to everybody else. Not everybody is paying for servers. A lot of places do peer-to-peer. That keeps it from being... They're not putting a cost down for you to play.
I don't know. It's just, to me, paying for it is just kind of stupid. I don't like it. They don't offer... that's just my opinion.
It's okay, I mean,
yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
And as today, right now, I think PSN is a far superior service.
Well, I mean, not every single company can give out free games, I mean, it's just...
I'm not talking about PlayStation Plus. I'm just talking about the core PSN. I think it's a far superior service.
I still don't. It's too many updates.
By the way, I mean, I disagree, obviously, but
too many updates. Xbox has
hold on. We're getting off topic. We're talking about the Microsoft press conference.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Microsoft press conference.
All right, so let's see. World of Tanks, we talked about the free-to-play stuff. Sunset Overdrive.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it looks really interesting.
It's by Insomniac, so I won't get excited until it comes out.
They should
see what actually is.
Their style in it. It has unique weapons.
Trevor, so did Overstrike.
That's true, but
I mean that's one.
We can't judge this game based on Overstrike.
And then their most prominent franchise, Ratchet and Clank, the last two they completely fumbled. They were terrible.
Yeah.
And Resistance,
because they outsourced it to like different branches.
Well, look at Resistance. Look at Resistance. How well did Resistance do?
Not very well.
Exactly. So. Yeah. I think it looks cool. I think if it stays like that for when it comes out, I think there's potential to be a really awesome game.
Yeah.
With the fun weapons.
Yeah, I mean, just going through it, yeah, they showed off advanced weapons, or at least advanced ammo with that the Sunny D container, Eric called it. You showed into your gun, and you showed off some kind of cooperative multiplayer element, because you could actually see people's names in the trailer over what, 3 people is what they had in the trailer over their head. Like a big open field kind of zombie shooter. I'm going to call them zombies. They're not zombies, but they look like mutated something.
Yeah, it's like mutated creatures, but I guess zombies is the default. Whatever.
Until they give me a name, I'm going to call them zombies. Yeah. So it looked unique and it looked fun, and that's what I'm looking for. So
I'll reserve that until I see actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pre-rendered thing. So.
I'm interested. And but I think with Insomniac's recent track record, and I'm just gonna, I want to see actual gameplay.
It looked the most unique of everything they showed. So.
I am kind of surprised we did not see Dying Light. That is, I would expect to see. It's not a Xbox exclusive, but yeah, I still thought we just might see that. But yeah, who knows?
The hell game was I gonna say next?
Let's talk
about Project Spark real quick, because that was something interesting they showed off, kind of like a little Big Planet for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
With terrain building, it looked like you could build a legit game. They said you could, but it actually showed off like you could build like a legit game field. even if it's just small scenario skirmish kind of things, which is basically what you saw: build a village, build terrain. Smart Glass Incorporated, where it lets you. I'm not even sure how it was functioning, like terrain building as you played, to like recraft the terrain while you fought enemies. It was pretty interesting looking.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah. It could to me just be like one of these. If you have a group of ridiculously hardcore people, like Little Big Planet has, you could get some amazing content coming out.
Which I'm sure this game is going to have.
Right. Assuming it's as good as Little Big Planet, because Little Big Planet's very in depth on the stuff you can do.
Yeah.
And Little Big Planet's just on a 2D plane. You know, this is
3D plane.
This is fully rendered in 3D. So I mean,
it looks a lot like Kodu Game Lab, which was on Xbox a while ago. It had the same kind of features, but it was fairly simplistic.
There was that Xbox Live Arcade game, Max and something. Max.
Here, I got it right here. Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood.
Yeah, I should have took my pee break then.
That looked actually really interesting. It probably looked like an arcade game.
Yeah,
but that might not be. But it looked like it was a 2D platformer where you could actually draw terrain.
Yeah, it was
with your Kinect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's Max and the Magic Markers.
It doesn't look like a big game, but it looked interesting. Interesting use of Kinect. Kind of like it almost looked like a more childish version of Trine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to compare it to Trine. I hear it groan.
Yeah, I don't like Trine.
Yeah, well, you don't like good things, so.
Trine is so boring.
You also don't like the Portal in Half-Life, so.
No, I don't like.
Well, I don't like their fan bases. I like the games. I hate their fan base.
The fan base is everybody, though.
The fan base, as good as they are with mods, that fan base is the most annoying people on the planet.
They're also blind, but that's just me.
They're blind.
Yep, they're blind. All of them.
Jimmy's a hipster.
It's because it's not on PlayStation.
Half-Life and Portal are on PlayStation.
Half-Life?
Yeah.
Yeah, Orange Box.
Orange Box.
I keep forgetting that was.
And the original Half-Life's on PS2.
Yeah, I keep forgetting Orange Box was for PS3. I don't know why I forget that.
Everyone does because they didn't make a lot of copies, and the only way to get it is to spend like $200 on it. So.
Yeah, whatever. Team Fortress sucks on those consoles anyway.
Javon, how did you like Killer Instinct?
I was screaming at the top of my lungs when I saw the KI logo.
Good scream or bad scream?
Good scream.
Oh, he had his O face on, guys.
The O face. What is it? The surprised Patrick face. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. I mean, it's not Banjo. We didn't get a Banjo game, but Killer Instinct is just as good.
They still have one more game to announce, which could be Banjo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rare's
announcing 3, and they did Kinect Sports, Rivals.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah,
Killer
and then
Instinct,
there's
yeah.
So we could still see Banjo.
Mm-hmm. So.
Fighting game enthusiasts.
And hopefully not another Perfect Dark game.
Yeah, Perfect Dark Zero was 0 for a reason.
I was indifferent to even the original on the N64, so I mean, just I don't care.
It was like futuristic GoldenEye, which was why it was fun. So.
It kicked off with MGS5. I mean, like.
Which excited me, but.
It had some cool open world stealth mechanics going on in there.
It's Metal Gear. I don't care what they showed off. I'm excited for it.
He just took Snake just took a dolphin dive as soon as he saw the flash.
There was nothing funnier than seeing him like lean over his horse while 2 guys walked across the road. Like, oh look, that's like the fully saddled horse with a leg over it. That's not suspicious. It was ridiculously comical, but only the way Metal Gear Solid could be.
Yeah.
But it looked more fun than any Metal Gear Solid I've seen in a while. It didn't. Granted, it's probably still going to be 90% cutscene, 10% gameplay, but
Kojima has said that he feels that lengthy cutscenes are going by the wayside. So he wants MGS5. He wants MGS5 to definitely emphasize gameplay mechanics a lot more than cutscenes. And we have an Otacon lookalike.
Well, that's his dad.
Yeah, I know it's his dad from Peace Walker. Yeah,
okay.
And we have a Deckard Cain lookalike.
Yeah,
and we have Black Mask lookalike.
Oh my god. They
What was his name? Ghostface?
Skullface. It's
Skullface. Oh yeah, that wasn't on the nose or anything. The dude literally had a skull for a face. They're gonna call him Skullface.
He had like a little suit on.
I think it'd be better if it was Ghostface Killer.
And we also have an evil lookalike.
The man without a pass, I think they called him. Like, oh my god, it's James Bond villain now. It's
it's kind of funny. This kind of has nothing to do with the games that they showed, but it does have to do with the Xbox press event. I guess I'm just reading through the internet here. I guess like if you're there, they actually had pamphlets like in the seats or whatever, and it said this fall, Mountain Dew and Doritos are teaming up to create an unprecedented experience for gamers with thousands of Xbox One entertainment systems up for grabs. It's just kind of funny because the whole like Mountain Dew and Dorito thing.
Yeah.
But there was an actual pamphlet there saying that.
That sounds like an internet joke and not a real thing.
No, this dude took a picture. He's right there.
Yeah, like they just have like all these like characters that look like characters from like there's a chick. I think her name was Quiet or something. She looks like almost exactly like Eva. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It looked good. It's gonna be on both consoles.
And that song, man, it's like Snake Eater 2.0.
I tell you what, though, hardcore Sony fans are probably really pissed off at Kojima for that.
I was expecting to see that at Sony's conference.
Yeah,
I will be
because Metal Gear. I mean, it didn't originate on PlayStation, but that's where it kind of made its name.
Yeah.
And I suspect. Yeah, it was on MSX. The first one was. Yeah. Over in Japan. So.
And then wasn't Metal Gear 2 for NES?
Super Nintendo. No, NES.
So,
yeah, it was on NES. Yeah.
So. Let them be upset. Microsoft paid him a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, he paid him a fuck ton of money just to come out and say 3 words.
Well, wasn't Kojima at like the 2010 Microsoft conference for Metal Gear Solid Rising? I vaguely remember him.
Possibly. I can't remember exactly.
2010 Microsoft conference for what was then Metal Gear Solid Rising before Revengeance came into existence.
Eric, I knew you were excited for Quantum Break.
He's not in here.
Or Trevor, I knew you were excited for Quantum Break.
Yeah, I mean it looks interesting, but we haven't seen enough of the actual gameplay yet.
To me, that seems like a game that might be far off.
We saw a concept at least.
Yeah, conceptually it looks awesome.
Some kind of time mechanic thing going on because we saw an exploded room like frozen in time, and a guy walked in and was able to pull somebody out of the time bubble. It doesn't really tell us anything, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. I mean, it's Remedy, and I like Remedy's games.
Yeah,
like they always make a good game, so I'm definitely looking forward to it for sure.
And it looks like a great concept for the TV show.
And they have confirmed, Alan Wake is gonna be coming on Xbox One in some fashion. So I mean, for anyone who was hoping for Alan Wake 2, you're gonna get it soon enough.
Alan Wake was the best episodic game that actually didn't release episodically. Because that game easily could have, the way they set that game up, narratively. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Alan Wake 2 as an episodic game on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool.
And that's the thing, too, going back to episodic content, I don't really think that, episodic releases isn't for every genre. It's genre specific. I really don't see, a lot of games. I don't see Mass Effect becoming, an episodic type of thing just because it's so...
It's big, I know. Yeah, I just think it would work really well with that.
The scale and scope of it is just too massive for just, a couple episodes a month or whatever.
But what I always thought was, they could run it through the whole generation and tell small, really impactful stories. Like, what was Garrus doing when he was with C-Sec and stuff like that? I thought that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if episodic, I don't think you'd have impactful stories back in those kind of the past when you already know how it's going to end. I think that removes some of the tension.
I think the Mass Effect fan base would fucking eat that up.
Those kinds of stories, though. Yeah, those kinds of stories. Yeah, those kinds of stories would be good for a graphic novel.
Because I want to know.
A small animated series or something like that. I don't see that becoming a full-length game.
Just an idea.
I don't think it's necessarily genre specific. I think any genre could actually do it if they manage to craft their story appropriately. But some are more fit for it than others. Obviously, Telltale's way of doing it and their point-and-click adventure was great.
Well, Jurassic Park wasn't.
Yeah.
Just a bad game. So, I mean... So, Titanfall? Anybody? Anybody Titanfall?
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, talk about it, John.
No, it's just whatever. You guys didn't care for it. I thought it was amazing.
I thought it looked fun.
We can
it
move
just
on.
kind of looked like Modern Warfare advanced in time 100 years, and now we have mechs and jetpacks, and it just was uninspiring.
like a really futuristic Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Brown color palette. It
I
makes
mean,
me think that
did
Infinity
you
Edge
guys
just
not-
can't get away from it.
Did you guys not hear that the guy that's leading the studio was at Infinity Ward?
Yeah, they're the original Infinity Ward
It doesn't
people,
mean we
yeah.
have to like the fact that
But
they're
yeah.
making the same game again.
It doesn't mean that they have to stick to that same thing. They should be. I thought that they changed a lot when they came out with Call of Duty and with first-person shooters. I thought that was amazing back in the day. But they're not pushing the genre forward any. At least it doesn't seem like it. Now I'll have to see the rest of the game, the multiplayer and stuff like that. But from what they showed, it's just like generic shooter number 250.
If I want to play Titanfall, I'll play PlanetSide.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to.
It's true.
It could be fun, but just from that initial thing they showed,
the,
I mean,
the internet loves it. In your defense, Javon, the internet seems to love it.
yeah, we're in the minority here, so
Yeah, they loved Rise too. So.
they did love Rise too.
Yeah,
So.
Rise was. It looked average.
Right, but the internet loved it.
Yeah.
So it could be great. It could be a financial success. It could have a huge multiplayer following. It just didn't look like it was a game that I'm like, that's what I want my Xbox One for.
Yeah.
It doesn't do much new, but it does look like it could be entertaining to play.
Yeah, that's what I initially thought. I mean, like, this is gonna. People are gonna eat this game up. Like, I can see this selling. Like, well, it's not coming out on launch for the Xbox One, but like, I can see people buying. You know, because people want another shooter that doesn't have the name Call of Duty. It can look like Call of Duty.
People are wrong.
I'm curious.
It could look like Call of Duty, but if it doesn't have the name Call of Duty, people are gonna eat it up.
Just please get away from the brown palette. Just open up your coloring book and see what you used to do. I want blues and browns and blues and greens and
Yellows,
just
reds.
brown.
In that defense,
something.
not every single shooter can look like Borderlands. In that defense, I mean, like,
But
I understand.
they don't have to all be brown. I mean, it's literally Titanfall was all brown. The mechs were brown. The walls were brown. The billboards were brown. It was just brown, like a little variance.
Oh man, on game trailers right now they're talking to Mark Cerny and I'm missing it. That man is brilliant.
You can watch it again.
Yeah, he's gonna be on Sony's.
I know, but he's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
They did actually announce the price of the new Xbox redesign.
$500.
Of the Xbox
Of the redesign, not
The 360 redesign.
the
If
360
you guys didn't know, they're redesigning the 360, which there was rumors of.
It looks like the Xbox One now.
Yeah, pretty much, except more rounded.
It's
the
weird.
The 250 gig is $300, and the 4 gig is $200.
And there's still the subsidized model.
Wait, what's $200 again?
The 4 gig.
Well, assuming they release that subsidized.
Ugh.
I'm sure that they would. That, like, this is just the taking the place. So if you want the subsidized, it'll be $100. And there you go.
I really do think that 250 gig should be $250. I don't understand why it's $300. Like.
Well, I mean, we're not going on how much it actually costs to make, so we're going on how much we feel like it should be. But it costs to make X amount.
I could not imagine the 360 being that much to make now.
No, but 360 is probably still more advanced than a $250 computer. So.
Yeah.
That's the. Sounds like a challenge.
Whatever. Whatevs.
Good. Well, since Greg is joined the call, I feel like we should talk about Dead Rising now.
If you have a monitor and stuff like that, you don't have to spend on that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought Dead Rising looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You there, Greg?
I think he's just listening in, probably.
Howdy.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
You were excited for Dead Rising, right, Greg?
Yeah.
No.
That's why I'm late to the call. I was kind of screaming into a pillow and I passed out. You know, I was really hoping to just stick with one console this generation, and I knew somebody's going to get me with an exclusive, just like they got me with the frickin' Wii U. Zombie game whore, this is how they get me.
I don't really know why Dead Rising 1 was a 360 exclusive, and Dead Rising 2 had to be multi-platform, and then they just went back to exclusive with 3.
Money.
I was just actually going to sing that. Yeah, well, they said Microsoft has like their budget for games like $1 billion.
Oh yeah.
So they're throwing money around.
And that's for exclusives, yeah?
It's kind of.
I'm not sure. I just heard that figure.
Kind of funny too that like in nowhere throughout like the demo, did you see a Capcom logo?
No.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I think Capcom has more of a negative connotation to it.
But I don't know.
Like this guy should be wearing a Surfbot helmet on his head.
I thought the only thing that kind of concerns me, and was the lack of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he made that really stupid weapon that he threw and cut a zombie in half. I was like, okay, maybe it's still gonna have that humor in there.
It's still, yeah. It's still, when it first started, I was saying it's like I want Dead Rising's funny. That's
that's what I want too. Yeah.
I don't want like this big melodrama going on.
Yeah, because you just go play the Walking Dead game for that.
Right, and if you have this over-the-top gameplay, it's just not going to fit. I mean, they did show that you could craft directly without having to go to a crafting table.
He used guns a little bit too much in that demo to me. Like, I don't.
That doesn't bother me. I don't know.
But the flow, did you see it? He's just running along. He finds it on the ground, picks it up, and just starts going. I forget what other game had that nice just flow, pick up, shoot, keep moving. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it looked open. The big. They say open world, but it's probably just going to be like a small city area. They're not going to have like New York City kind of.
I mean, out of all the stuff they showed, that excited me the most.
It was.
And for me, because like I think the zombie genre is tiring a little bit now. I think we see way too much of it, but
it was like 4 or 5 a year.
That excited me so much that's probably a system seller for me.
What's great, and oddly enough, I was happy that it was devoid of humor. That's what I didn't like about the Dead Rising games. But you're right. That's what makes Dead Rising Dead Rising. But
I want to be able to go into a hardware store, pick up a shower head, shove it in the zombie's head, and watch it spray.
I could almost imagine they're still going to have that. I would almost assume they're still going to have that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. And what I like about, do we have another open world, really true open world zombie game? Like
I don't.
State of Decay.
Undead Nightmare.
Undead Nightmare is still the best zombie game.
Yeah, that one, and I think State of Decay tried. It's just
DayZ.
Well, any non-PC gamer has no idea what DayZ is. So.
Yeah, and they're wrong.
That's why we're
Warzy. Yeah.
We don't want to talk about Warzy.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Warzy. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it looked kind of cool. Hopefully, I can still walk into a toy store, pick up a toy sword, and beat the zombies.
I'm worried I'm not going to be able to, put on my little shorts, cowboy boots, and like DayZ Duke top like you could in the other ones.
Yeah, I would almost imagine they'll have that.
He looked like a very deliberate character model design.
That's true.
Because he had like the biker gang, like leather vest going on, like the cowboy boot kind of thing.
He's like
very
a stereotypical Hispanic auto mechanic.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I'm worried.
I just like all throughout like Dead Rising, all I did was just melee. So when I see this guy using more guns than he is like crafting melee crap in that demo, I just got very discouraged.
Well, they did show off what looked like better aiming, which might have been their purpose. Like he was blind firing. It looked like it auto targeted all the zombies.
Yeah.
The thing is too, we're missing with E3 demos, and we're going to see this a lot with games.
Mass appeal.
Yes, you can't. We seen it with Hitman last year. The Hitman demos last year at E3 were fucking awful because all run and gun, and Hitman fans are like, "Are you kidding me? This is not what we want." But you can't go in there and show how the game is actually supposed to be played, because then it would bore the masses to death.
But then the game came out and turned out you could actually go and run and gun. So.
I love that game.
Absolution, I hated.
I loved Absolution.
It didn't feel like Hitman to me. Too much. Maybe I didn't get far enough into it, but there was no open world. But either way, we're digressing again.
But Jimmy, you were saying, there is an oversaturation of zombie games, so hopefully this brings something new to the table. I don't think I've ever seen anything this open world on a console, zombie-wise, before. But did you see it bringing anything else new?
Not necessarily. I don't
call an airstrike via tablet.
That pissed me off, but I won't even talk about that.
There was something. Dead Rising 1 was essentially used to be able to show off the processing power of the 360, and I think they're doing the same with the Xbox One because they did have this shot on top of the car where you're just surrounded by zombies, which was very, very thematic to the top of like the ice cream truck you had in Dead Rising 1, just surrounded by zombies.
Yeah.
So I love that they did that and just showed how many zombies you could have on screen.
And I think Dead Rising
implies a horde.
Dead Rising has this thing where, now I didn't really care for the second one because
Chuck Green is.
It was still Dead Rising and it was still fun.
But it scratches that itch
Yeah.
Of just, there really is no point. I mean, there's a story, I guess, but if you don't want to follow it, you don't have to. You can just kind of beat the shit out of zombies for hours on end. Like, it scratches that itch, you know, where you can kind of feel like a super... I mean, you could die easily, but you still
and
kind
then
of
it changed the paces with, like, psychopaths and stuff like that. Just completely made certain unique areas.
But I think with zombie games moving forward, I think that there is still a lot of potential to tell good stories. And I feel like a lot of these games are just throwing zombies in there just because they're zombies and not really have a story revolving around them. But...
Well, that's kind of what I like about State of Decay. You can follow the story or just do whatever the heck you want.
They do have to patch that game up, though. That game needs to be patched.
Absolutely, and I was just saying, if Dead Rising can bring to the table what State of Decay does, but without all the glitches and the frame rate drops and stuff, that would be nice. But it really doesn't look like it's going to be that complex.
Yeah, I'm sick of the genre. I'm sick of it. So I mean, like it just goes into the fact of saying that.
I'm fine with it as long as it's used correctly. When, you know, fucking Call of Duty comes out and slaps a zombie mode that's fucking awful onto their game.
Yeah. Man, I hate the zombies mode in Call of Duty.
Or like when you're just playing a random game and they'll have like one level where you'll have to face like some zombie type creatures. It's like, are you kidding me?
The only time that was ever fun was the Saints Row 3.
Yeah, but that was like a novelty type.
But
of thing.
even that, when that first
happened,
I rolled my eyes so much. I was like, "Are you kidding me, zombies?"
I thought they did it to make fun of everything.
That's what I was gonna say. I think they did that on a play of the gaming industry. Like, hey, here's zombies for you. But I don't know.
Well,
I mean, like, yeah.
I hear what you're saying, Jovan. I mean, it is tired out. I don't know how I became such a zombie game junkie, but that's the goal now. It's so oversaturated. They need to bring something new to the game, and that's kind of what still makes it exciting to me.
There's a lot of oversaturated tired markets.
Is it necessary to have to bring something new to the game, or just wait it out until you can think of something revolutionary? Because
if you can do something better than everybody else, you don't have to do anything new.
Yeah.
Call of Duty showed that. They Call of Duty Modern Warfare. They didn't do anything new. They just did it better.
Well, yeah, but it's like, you know, why do something new when you're still selling a bunch, you know?
I'm not talking about the repeats after that. I'm talking about the original Modern Warfare.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh, well. So, they did show some direct competition with what Sony did a while ago with their game DVR.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people are going to be excited for. They obviously have their partnership with Twitch, so you're going to be able to directly stream through Twitch.
Which I don't think that surprised anyone, though.
No, that didn't surprise me.
It kind of did. I mean, direct streaming, I was kind of not expecting from Microsoft completely.
The thing is, too,
I like it.
Yeah, people weren't expecting that because they didn't think the Xbox One was that powerful to do that sort of thing. But it's like, okay, now you're making these kinds of announcements. This thing's probably got something under the hood that's really, really impressive. So, yeah.
I just hope the one thing that they showed off is the ability to... Now, they didn't really show off how deep the controls are, but editing. And they said you can add commentary as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Sony touched on when they announced that you could do that.
No, they didn't touch on it, but I'm sure they will.
I have heard that you can edit and do commentary.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious the way it works. Yeah, I'm kind of curious the way it works, because the way they showed it almost implied that the console would stylize it itself. Did you guys see the way that went with Killer Instinct?
Yeah. I think that was mostly maybe already done just for purposes of the presentation.
That's what
or something.
I feel like. But they were basically showing it in the direct point where they were like, "Hey, look, this is your video that you just now cut," and there's like this very stylized, professionally done. I mean, it doesn't look real. I mean, that's the problem. And I'm worried they're showing it as though it's real, and it's not. And you're just going to see like the Halo 3 cut here and here, play this. That's probably what it is, which is fine, but show that. Don't show your Xbox is going to do it for you professionally. So.
Yeah.
Any recording kind of thing on it would be a big plus for me.
Yeah. I'm just glad.
Yeah. Did we talk about The Witcher 3? Because
we mentioned it. I don't think we've talked about it, though.
Oh, man. The Witcher 3.
I am excited for that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow.
It's going to be good.
The Witcher series is amazing.
The Witcher series is phenomenal. And it makes me... I'm really excited for Witcher 3, obviously, but I'm excited for their other game, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's 2015 or later. So.
Yeah, but just because that company is so good at what they do...
it'll be interesting to see them tackle a new genre, for sure.
God damn it, I'm way too popular today.
Okay, well, I think the big question is, what games did we miss? Did we miss any? Like we need to talk about.
Crimson
I mean,
Dragon,
they showed
Panzer
Battlefield.
Orta.
Yeah, Crimson Dragon from the guys
Crimson
that
Dragon.
made Panzer Dragoon.
But
I mean,
apparently,
Crimson Dragon I saw at PAX East 2 years ago for the Xbox 360.
Really?
And I was wondering why it never came out, and I mean, obviously we have that answer now.
apparently though, there's no sound when you buy it, and that's an extra DLC that you have to purchase the sound.
Unity Quest is becoming a reality.
What was the game? I totally missed this. There was a game from the guys that made Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah, Below.
But they didn't really show anything. It looked just
Yeah, and
weird.
that's the consensus I'm getting online. Like, people who are seeing that, they're like, why wouldn't you show more? You want to make a push for indie games, show more of that. Like, not some 10-second trailer. But who knows how much was actually done and ready to show.
Yeah, Microsoft is learning. That's all that counts. They're learning.
Yeah, they're learning.
Well, Microsoft never was like, we're not going to have games on their arcade. People just have said, hey, they're not having open publishing, so they're saying fuck indie devs. But they're not doing that. That was never their intent, so they're not changing anything right now. There never was.
Well, they have to improve their, I guess, attitude with indie devs, because that's what most indie devs have a problem with, is how they're dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting on. It's just indie devs are so many hoops, and then they're just assholes about everything, and that's what rubs indie devs the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we'll see if they learn. I think they will. I think that they'll see the importance of having those indie games on their system.
I still say it's not that important. I mean, we talk about indie devs. Like we used to say, we said in the podcast that Jonathan Blow was a big loss, but what did he do for Xbox 360? One game.
Braid.
So it's not that important compared to what the consoles do. That's the problem. It's not that
I
important.
beg to differ, but it could plan out either way. I mean, it really could. But as far as I see it now,
they're still going to have arcade games, and that's the thing. They don't have to
absolutely.
do everything.
Absolutely.
Just you have to look at this too. I mean, how many console gamers really do genuinely care for the indie?
That's the thing. It's gamers like. There's people that love their indie games, but most of them don't play them on console.
I mean, hey, I have my Xbox here.
Well,
what do I want to play more? Do I want to play?
Well, the thing is like we talked about Braid, and I remember when Braid first came out, it got review scores. It was critically acclaimed, and then people, just normal gamers, were like, "Hey, what is Braid? I'm gonna check out Braid." Same with Shadow Complex, and Super Meat Boy to an extent, and especially with Journey.
Those games may be critically acclaimed and people may want to play them, but they don't compare to any AAA title that gets released to the console. That's the problem. They're a drop in the bucket. They may sound good from a press standpoint, but towards the console, they don't mean that much.
Yeah, and you have to think about this too. You can't invest nearly as much time into those games as you could in a AAA title. Oh yeah, it's cheaper. It's cheaper, and it's quite the experience. You're gonna get a quality experience, better than quality experience, but it's a couple hours, 2-3 hours worth of that quality experience compared to 10 to 15 plus hours of what you would get out of a AAA title. So.
Okay, 10 to 15 plus hours. You're stretching it, Jovan.
Well,
you're probably averaging between 8 and 12, which is
provided that those games have multiplayer. I'm saying.
Yeah, multiplayer. Yeah, that obviously changes.
Multiplayer worth playing, not tacked on.
Okay, multiplayer worth playing.
You know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about that amazing Battlefield 4 trailer press conference.
Broken Field 4. You mean Broken Field 4.
The best part was waiting there for 5 minutes while the guy stood there awkwardly trying to walk off stage and they wouldn't let him.
I think what pisses me off, and it's kind of just like this microcosm of the generation, they're showing Battlefield 4, but they already have a map pack planned that you have to. It's exclusive to Xbox One.
Do they really?
It's like, if it's done this early, fucking put it in the game. But then it goes back to the whole, like, this is what they're doing to combat used games and everything like that, and it's just... It's sickening. It's fucking sickening.
It's like EA kind of want us with eliminating the online pass, and then they do this, and then they just make new enemies all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm so sick of that. Like, that's the one thing I'm sick of.
It's like people are drooling over Battlefield 4. I mean, it's a shooter. It has pretty graphics. It's great lighting.
I mean, I love the Battlefield multiplayer, but for that, which apparently they're supposed to show off the multiplayer at some point today.
EA's conference.
See, but every time, like, Call of Duty or Battlefield, they show off a single player, I just roll my eyes because, in reality, who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? It's graphics porn at the end of the day, too. I mean, people will just go on and on.
Well, I mean, the game looks good, but to me, it just looks like a shinier version of Battlefield 3. I mean, that doesn't mean it looks bad, but it still has that same aesthetic
Yeah.
that I don't really like.
Yeah.
And it's more brown too, I guess. I mean, it has some fire, but still some brown.
What shooter doesn't have fire?
Still a little bit of blue, a little bit of blue hue in there too.
They tended to have more the lens flare than brown
Yeah,
palette.
the J.J. Abrams lens flare stuff.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your original point for a second, Jimmy, about the downloadable map pack. We can't as gamers complain when Microsoft's trying to combat used games and then complain about what happens with. You don't do it. I'm not saying, but in general, gamers are complaining that I want my used games, and then gamers also complain about what used games do to the industry.
Yeah.
So we can't have it both ways. You're either going to have used games with crappy DLC, or you're going to have game companies trying to get profits from their games.
Yeah, I think if used games are eliminated totally, I think we have a thing where possibly, perhaps, when we do get DLC, it's a better quality.
PC gamers are treated incredibly well by game companies.
Yeah.
And console gamers aren't treated well by game companies because the difference is the used game market.
Yeah.
So we need to settle on a side to stand on. You can't have it both ways.
Well, and when you get pissed off at I'm pissed that the stupid fucking they already have DLC announced, and if you're like me and get pissed off at that, well, it's because of the used games.
Right.
That's the whole
this
reason.
is coming out in October too. I mean, that's a ways away.
Yeah. Valve, Team Fortress 2, they released map packs. They were always free when the game was still $60.
Yep.
Or so. And we're paying for map packs in advance on consoles. $15.
Well, wait, Jimmy, what if it's not done and this is just what they plan to do? What? Don't.
That's shitty.
No.
Laughing.
Yeah, I'm laughing, but it's kind of like Capcom with their on-disc DLC, where it's completed.
I mean, of course they plan. Of course they plan to do it.
But that was just
now
with
you can unlock it for $15. That's what it feels like.
Well, of course they plan on doing it from the very start. Before Battlefield 4 was even, before the first programming code was written, they probably had this plan from the very start, and that's shitty.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe it is on the disc, and they just cut it out.
Yeah, it happens.
You know.
But when you try to play it, you're gonna have to wait 10 minutes while a guy awkwardly walks off stage.
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody slipped some sunshine in my coffee, but I'm not seeing it as such a negative thing as you guys.
Sunshine in his coffee.
I don't really have a huge problem with it personally.
I hope that's sunshine. What the hell is that?
Halo 5? Anybody?
Well, Halo. We don't know if it's.
Yeah, they didn't even say Halo 5.
We're gonna call it Halo 5.
I don't understand why someone who wears Spartan armor needs to wear a robe in the desert when you have Spartan armor.
I was wondering that same thing.
I think that was done
Keep
purposely.
sand out of his joints.
Well, no, I think that was done purposely because this trailer fooled me. I didn't think it was
did
Halo.
not look like Halo.
Yeah, and at first I was like, okay, maybe this is Titanfall. Which then I got excited because I'm like, oh man, if this is Titanfall, this looks really
I thought
good.
it was Destiny. I was gonna say Destiny. This can't.
No, Destiny's.
Well,
gonna be
everybody was
70s.
making a joke. It's like Destiny's Xbox 360, but yeah. They didn't show anything other than a gigantic Forerunner artifact in a desert.
Which looked
with
cool.
Master Chief.
Looks cool.
Well,
No.
it's Halo, and it's gonna be a quality game.
Yeah.
So, it's probably gonna be not on release.
No. Well, no, they said
said
They did say it was gonna be playable at E3.
They said 2014 though.
2014,
Yeah.
and then they went on to say the new Halo's multiplayer will be at 60 frames a second.
Yep.
Will be dedicated servers, which fucking makes me really happy.
And playable, so we might actually see gameplay before the day's out.
Possibly.
I hope that they change it up a bit, the multiplayer. It's been pretty
They
similar
changed
to the last
They
two.
changed way too much.
He's a lot with 4.
I think some from the good, some from the bad, but I think they
it
changed.
back towards Halo. We need map fights for weapons.
See, we have two people here. One says they need to change it more, and the other one says they need to change it back.
I'm fine with multiplayer staying relatively the same
think
because Halo
for-
has always improved their multiplayer. And people might say it's the same, but if you go back and play it, they do have directed changes in the multiplayer.
They do improve it. That's undeniable, but I would like something a little bit different.
Then it wouldn't be Halo, though, is kind of the thing.
It'd be Titanfall.
Yeah, Titanfall. There you go.
I guess that's a good point.
So,
Okay.
so what about the price? Where do we stand on the price? It's
I'm
$500.
amazed they didn't announce the subsidized model.
Yeah, and I think we're all in agreement that that's going to be. And my question is will they have subsidized at launch?
Subsidized makes me think they would have to. I feel like they have to if they're going to price it at $500. I feel like with $500 model though, the subsidized might only be $300.
Yeah, which is that low enough to?
I think it is, especially when you're like, oh, I can get it for $500. But still,
Yeah.
$300 is still enough.
I mean, basically, this all really depends on how much Sony's console is going to be.
I just don't see it being much cheaper. I don't see it being. No. It's gonna cost more to make. I'm gonna say that now. It costs more for Sony to make the PlayStation 4 than for Xbox to make the Xbox One. Yeah, so how much more of a hit are they willing to take?
If the PS4 is $400, that's wow. That's just. I don't know. I see the PS4 being just as much as the Xbox One.
I see Sony willing to take the hit to make it $400.
Can they afford to? Their business it hasn't been functioning in the red black at all.
They're still on the receiving end from the PSN outage. So
the PlayStation, the PlayStation 3, their entire game side is still $3 billion in debt.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression that the PlayStation side was actually the one keeping Sony afloat. No.
The PlayStation side lost so much money. They're finally starting to sell enough money to actually lower that.
I always thought it was the other way around. I thought their TVs brought that company to its knees.
No, they lost.
I'm fairly certain that's the case.
I'll get the charts for you after this, Jimmy.
I mean,
but they lost so much money early in the PlayStation 3. They're still recovering from that.
The 3D TVs didn't help, but yeah. Mike's right on that one.
Yeah, I thought it was always their TV, their tablets,
They were never making a profit on the PlayStation 3.
I thought the Sony thing was the only thing keeping that company afloat.
No, this is just the console. The games division might be bringing in a lot of money because they have a lot of first.
Softwares might be a different story, but
this is just hardware stuff. They've just never been able to afford to sell that console at a fair market value price because gamers just expect game consoles to be less than computers. So that'll be interesting though, because $400 might be the lowest I'll expect. Like I don't expect.
I mean, I hate to speculate about the price because I don't know how much the system is cost to make, and I don't think any of us will actually truly know how much it legitimately is to make.
Absolutely, but
yeah.
Just Kaz Harai just comes out saying, "Yeah, $600 again, Ridge Racer."
Yeah, Pactor's gonna come out with a new model.
And the PS4 is also huge, like the PS3 was.
Oh
PS4,
man.
oh man.
The George Foreman PS3 is still my favorite.
It looks so silly.
Ridge Racer.
I hope he does that just because.
We didn't talk about whatever that stealth game tech demo thing was from. It was basically the
Black Tusk.
Yeah.
What
was that?
There's nothing really to say about it.
Yeah, that tech demo didn't really impress me.
Was it just showing off an engine to be like, hey, come buy our engine?
No, I think it's their game.
It's an original IP from a new studio.
And it kind of looks like
new studio.
It looks like Splinter Cell, maybe more towards the Rainbow Six side of Tom Clancy.
I don't know what that was.
It was confusing, and I don't know why they put it in there.
Yeah, to me, if you just have a tech demo to show, you got to make it kind of like mind blowing. That I just was like, okay,
or at least have a name.
It's something. Something.
Yeah, they had nothing.
Have like a building fall down in real time or something. I don't know.
They had some cool stuff with the original Crytek engine where they actually showed those kind of things happening. But no, I don't know. So nothing to say on that. I think that's pretty much. They did show something about Minecraft, but I think they're just reiterating that it's going to be an exclusive on the Xbox.
No one cares.
At this point, like, who fucking cares about Minecraft? Like.
The 6 million people that play it.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, but those people already have the game. Right. They're not going to go buy an Xbox One just to play fucking Minecraft.
Right.
Some 8-year-old will.
They will.
Yeah, some 8-year-old will buy it.
I don't know. Minecraft's always fun.
An 8-year-old's going to afford a $500 system.
I had fun with Minecraft for the first hour, and then I realized how.
That's because you're not very creative, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not.
That game's for creative people who have high attention spans.
If they want to make good on the if they want to make Minecraft more interesting, they should really introduce the computer's ability to download custom adventure maps, and they're actually amazing. For those of you who might scoff at that, people make legit adventures.
I would say maybe that's what they're planning on doing with the Xbox One, but I can't see Microsoft doing that.
Well, I mean, they're all user-created content, so if they just enable that, it could do it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting, but either way, no real story there.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's a bigger world, but I mean, has anyone really reached the limits of what Minecraft has now?
Yeah,
well, the computer version is about 75% bigger than the Xbox version is now, anyway.
Yeah,
that's the thing too. Like people who play Minecraft care about it. This kind of stuff, but if you never really bothered to care about it. This isn't going to sway your thinking at all.
And to be fair, it was a 2-minute video that didn't say anything, so it's not like they spent a whole bunch of time on Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not the biggest fan of it either. Like, I don't really care for it. I like watching what people can do with it, but other than that, it's just there.
What I thought was kind of weird during the press conference, at the very beginning, they talked about Splinter Cell, Arkham Origins, and GTA 5 without showing a thing. They just said the names, pretty much. I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to have them. Moving on.
Well, it's like, of course you're going to have them.
Right. I mean, everybody knew you were going to have them. I don't understand what that was about. And that was during the Xbox 360 segment, which took up about the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of weird.
Well, I mean, it's important to talk about it because it's still a viable system. It's still going to be relevant for at least another year or so.
Right. I just mean the games that they mentioned aren't going to be 360 games, though. Are they? Splinter Cell, Arkham Origins, GTA 5?
Well, they're all 360 games, yeah.
Yeah,
Are they?
360, yeah.
Okay.
This was the one announcing that GTA 5 is going to be on the Xbox One. Like, I feel Rockstar
You know
would
what?
want to do
It
that
kind of
themselves.
thinking about it. It kind of makes me think that Sony might have the games at their press conference. Since they're third party, so they need to mention them.
I would think.
I didn't hear them say Grand Theft Auto 5's on Xbox One.
No, I think that was just them talking about Xbox 360.
That was 360. That wasn't Xbox
Because
One.
Rockstar has come out and said that they're not putting GTA 5 on the newer systems.
Okay, this is okay.
Which I still think's a ruse for like a next year release or something.
Really, you think so?
Maybe not. I don't know. It just.
Or we still have the rumors that GTA 5 is going to be a Nintendo exclusive, because I remember when that one was big.
Oh man, internet would implode.
Every other day, people would come into GameStop. Like, GTA 5!
I can.
They're gonna be on the DS.
Yeah. Hey, they had Chinatown Wars.
Hey, nothing's worse than the people who came in when I worked at GameStop and asked if GTA 5 was going to be on a PS2.
Look, I mean, you can see that Reggie's like putting forth his best efforts to try and get GTA 5 on this console, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. So, better luck next time.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought overall. I thought it was a good conference. I thought they needed to do what they. I thought they needed to do what they had to do, or had to do what they needed. Whatever. To me, there wasn't any like mind-blowing things. The most surprising thing to me was Dead Rising 3 is going to be exclusive. I thought that was pretty shocking, to be honest with you. I don't know how much of a big deal it is in the grand scheme of things, but it is for me.
15 exclusives, I thought was a pretty big deal.
I thought it was a good conference though. I thought they did a fair job.
This is what they needed to do, and
we know they're still going to have more exclusives, right? I mean, they did say 15 exclusives, 8 new IPs, and they did hit 15 exclusives during this press conference.
Yeah, They didn't hit 8 IP. Did they hit 8 new IPs?
No, they didn't hit all the new IPs. But they did hit the number of exclusives. They said, which means they're going to have new IPs. I guess they didn't say. They did say 8 of which were new IPs, didn't they? So we're going to have a few more new IPs that are exclusives.
I mean, the only thing that kind of shocked me is I knew going in that they were going to show all games, but I figured at least once they would have some kind of Kinect game out there, showing off the new Kinect features. But they didn't do that at all. They announced Kinect Sports Rivals before the conference on TV.
Because they knew nobody would care.
Yeah, because they knew no one would give a shit. But
they got to remember the couple E3s ago when they had people on stage dancing. And
that was last year.
It was like, this is stupid. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Well, Usher was last year.
They've done it a couple different times. Yeah. Like when they first announced the Kinect, they're like, hey, look, a little girl playing with a tiger over here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I hopefully Sony doesn't follow suit with the Move tonight. I don't want them to show too much on the Move.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
I think Sony's realized that PlayStation Move is not necessarily a failure or not necessarily something they need to steer away from entirely, but it's not nearly as important as they might have thought when they first launched the.
No, it's not a focal point.
At least keep it away from E3.
Yeah.
So. Are they gonna talk about the social button?
I hope not, but whatever. That social button can go to hell for all I care. But whatever. I mean.
Welcome to the social. Oh wait, no, that was the Zoom.
So can we talk about what the internet's going to complain about this press conference? Anything? Anybody have any ideas?
No games.
Yeah, no games.
Probably.
No, I already seen some Dead Rising memes out there. One was a picture, and it was like, just an ordinary mechanic, call in airstrikes.
I swear to God, I was dumbfounded when I saw that. I was just,
Yeah, that's a
cell phone.
You know what? Thinking about the smart glass integration, you guys don't think it's going to be one of those stupid pay $1 get an airstrike, do you?
It could turn out to be that way.
Whenever I thought about it just now, I'm like, that seems like iPad games. They have that kind of crap, you know?
Yeah, it could be.
I could do it.
At least I think $1 this time and not Microsoft points.
That's true.
I mean, the smart glass stuff, does that work on... That only works on Windows phones, right? Or is it...
iPad.
just
Everything have the
okay.
app, on the iPhone.
It's just an app. I'm surprised Apple lets it on there.
Yeah, me too.
Microsoft is secretly in bed with Apple, so
Hey, Microsoft is the reason Apple exists today. They would have gone bankrupt in the late '90s if Microsoft bailed them out. So
didn't they attempt to buy them out in the 90s?
probably, but either way, they kept them from going under.
Like Microsoft attempted, and then like Steve Jobs like premiered Halo for the first time with Bungie, and then the shocking truth was revealed.
Oh well.
Okay.
Maybe before you call in an airstrike, you actually have to use that open world, find a Microsoft store, break into it, and actually steal one of their tablets. Otherwise, you can't call in an airstrike. If you find an Apple store, you're SOL.
Like, what did he even pull? Like, what did the game character himself pull out on the screen? Like, you saw the guy demoing it with his tablet, with his phone, but like, what did he pull out on the?
I didn't see him pull anything out in the game.
Like, I saw him typing on something with his thumb.
You wonder if that's going to become like a play-to-win type thing. Like, pull out your smart glass app, pay this to do this.
World of Tanks Dead Rising Edition.
That'd be the greatest crossover ever. Because zombies would be fucked.
Yeah, it would.
You could just have like a Dynasty Warriors thing and give your guy like a electric katana, like Raiden or something.
Yep.
Just
As we stand now, though,
there was electric katana in Dead Rising 2.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, I forgot.
EA's press conference will start here in a few minutes. Then Ubisoft and Sony.
And Ubisoft, they still have Tyler.
Yeah, so she can get Girlwood. Tonight we'll have another one of these discussing everything else.
Everything else, yeah.
Everything else.
That's going to be a long one because we'll probably have something. Because EA is going to show off Mass Effect. They're going to show off Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Me and Trevor, me and Trevor will at least have fun with that. So
Yeah, I'm a BioWare, so
yeah.
Well, I'm a BioWare fan too.
Okay, all right, cool.
I have a stupid amount of hours in the original Dragon Age.
Yeah, Sony's is at 9 Eastern, so we're going to be going with.
Makes you think because there's a lot of rumored games out there. Again, they're still rumors, but some of these rumors I've heard have actually come true already.
Nomura, the creator of Kingdom Hearts, is at E3. He has been on site. So
I think Sony.
That's just a cock tease, Javon.
Sony could have some bombshells.
Do not discourage me.
Yeah. If they announce
Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually just the dream.
Yeah. It's an RTS. It's okay.
They'll reveal it and just say, "Just kidding. It's Final Fantasy 15."
It's a zombie game. It's a zombie game, Javon.
Oh man.
Zombie Goofy. I can see it.
Well, Halloween Town. Just the whole game is Halloween Town. The whole game is Halloween Town.
I would play that.
All right, I think that wraps it up for us.
Do you want to do grades? Anyone want to do grades on the conference? Like,
can we wait till after everything's done?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Probably a good idea.
All right, fair enough. Jesus Christ.
Ah, screw you, Jimmy. Get out of here.
Good
Bad
Lord.
ideas.
You can. Damn it! I'm trying to wrap this up, Jimmy. Well, you can join us later. We'll be on Spiderduck.net. The broadcast will play on the main page of our site, as well as on YouTube. And we will have it in our feed for our podcast feed as well. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later tonight.